do this video on what I actually went through the first month. So we'll start at the beginning. So I had my surgery on, April 26, 2017 at Rex Hospital in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm 29 years old. My name is Mo. And my highest weight starting before getting surgery was 447. My weight at surgery was 396. So let's start with what happened in the hospital, because that was interesting. So, I always hear people talk about, oh, I felt like I got hit by a truck. And you never really know what that means until you feel like you got hit by a truck, because that's what waking up from surgery was like. It was, I was fine. When I went in, they moved me to the table, all of that. Not really sure when I went out. I think that's the purpose. They don't want me to really know what's about to happen. So wake up, and our recovery room was like a big, it was an open recovery room. So family and stuff wasn't really allowed back there. My surgery was at 7:15 in the morning. So I literally wake up in this room. I can't talk. I can barely see. I don't know if the room was really yellow, but that was all I was seeing, and could do nothing but like that. That's the only sound that I can make. Now those nurses, they were on point, because anytime they gave me some drugs, and I was cool. And I went back to sleep. So because it was such a process in getting my room together, for whatever reason, to this day, I really don't know what happened. I was in the recovery room for about like 3.5 hours or something like that. So, they let my family back there to see me, know that I was okay, all of that. So, I get up to my room, I'm in and out most of the first day, which is, fine. For, I had family trying to have a conversation with me, but, I just remember her saying people were calling. So what I do remember is waking up in the middle of the night in pain, and just itching like crazy. And, they still, at this point, they still had the catheter in. So for anyone that has any confusion about this, you do get a catheter when you go for this surgery. I found out like at the meeting right before my surgery. So yeah, just in case there's, some necessary clarification, you get a catheter. So I remember waking up and literally scratching to the point I almost like pulled the catheter out. So they had me on Dilaudid, and apparently that was one of the side effects that I experienced, was constant itching. So, I went through that, woke up the next morning, they took the catheter out. That first day I did get up and, go walk a couple times, but, and it didn't seem that bad, but, with my surgeon, he didn't have us doing any food or drink that first day. So the next day, they brought my little tray in, and, supposed to be drinking water, just trying to get stuff in. They brought me broth and all of that to try to get in. I was not interested in any of that. I didn't feel like having anything to go down into my stomach at that point, because everything just felt weird. And I tasted the broth. The broth tasted like hell. Apparently that was just me not liking the broth. I'm not a broth fan anyway. But over the couple of days that I was in the hospital, I had a hard time actually getting down liquids. What was happening is that the swelling between the connection from my esophagus to my stomach was just really, really swollen. And what happened from there was, I just, I couldn't get anything down without it being immense pain. After they took me off the IV pain meds, they eventually put me on a pain med by mouth, which hurt to take. My body tried to reject it, one of those days. And, I was just, because of how bad the swelling was, I had to get steroids, all of that. So I was in the hospital an extra 2 days than everyone else was. So, we get home, I finally get to the point where I can drink the 4 ounces in the hour and, get to go home. I get home, still trying to do that. And that first week home was so hard, because it was what I anticipated of not having hunger after this surgery didn't happen. And, they were trying to tell me like, oh, you're thirsty. Now, yes, I guarantee you, part of it was thirsty, but there literally was just times of being hungry, and I wasn't expecting it. And so to go through these cycles of, feeling hunger and, and pain, and some of my pain was coming from, just really, really high stomach acid, just higher than normal stomach acid. And I had that for about a week until I went to go see my surgeon. They had me on an antacid, a pill that they wanted me to swallow, which was rude, after the surgery to go home with. But literally my stomach acid was so bad that it was almost like anytime I drank a liquid, it would immediately turn to gas in my stomach and cause all of this pressure and pain. So literally just constant cycles of pressure and pain. My attitude was horrible. My attitude was worse, that I feel, that first week than it was the first 2 weeks on the liquid diet. So it was just a lot to deal with, not being able to really fix the pain, because like I said, the pain meds that they gave me hurt for a while, so I didn't like taking them. And then to feel that hunger, but there's nothing I can do about this hunger. I just have to let it be there. And, I also was experiencing, constant diarrhea. Like, it was just, I might as well have just been peeing from everywhere, because that was literally all it was like. And so right around, the second week, I was through with it. I was at the point, I can't take this. Like, I really felt like I had made the worst decision of my life. And, that you find that when you get to the point of frustration with this, every negative image and every negative stereotype that people talk about with getting weight loss surgery comes to your head. And you automatically start to affix that to yourself. Like, dang, maybe I really was lazy. Maybe I really, just should have worked harder. I should have ate better. Maybe I shouldn't even got myself in this in the first place. I'd have been so much better had I not done X, Y, and Z. And it takes a lot to fight against that. It really, really does. And even though I was warned that, with this surgery, you can have bouts of depression that just hits you out of nowhere, and it'll hit you hard. I wasn't ready when it happened. And day 19, I literally sat in my bed. I ate nothing. I drank nothing, and I cried. And that's all I could do. I literally sat and cried. Because my doctor tried to advance my diet to, get things to work. And it just, everything that I felt like I tried to do to make it better, things just got worse. And the things that may have been working before, now they didn't work. So it was just a really, really hard thing to fight against. And then to have the emotional up and down, like, yes, I'm excited. I'm seeing weight loss. I'm seeing progress. My clothes are fitting different. Oh, this is great. I look different. To have that excitement and then to have it brought right back down, it was hard. It was so, so hard. And I'm sure there are probably going to be more days like that to come. I need to anticipate that. I need to understand that that's a possibility. But that day, the only thing that I was able to do was I left and went to a friend's house because I was pretty much told to. And I ate some of the instant mashed potatoes because before then I, found out I couldn't do the sugar-free popsicles, gave me diarrhea, couldn't do Jell-O, sent me to the bathroom. All I was drinking, I couldn't drink the Premier Protein anymore because now that just tasted disgusting to me, which is a loss because that was a really affordable protein. And, I actually got to talk to someone who had, when I got to her house, got to talk to someone who had the surgery and was almost a year out, and realizing like, no, you can have this, and things turn around, and just getting that reinforcement that it gets better. It gets better. It gets better. It gets better. Like, because when you're in it, you feel like, dang, am I the only one that had to go through it like this? Am I the only one that this like really sucked for? Because you talk to everybody else, like I was looking at, all of these other blogs, and folks didn't seem to be having these problems I was having. And while I understand I'm an outlier a lot of times, and this time was no different with things and how my body processes and handles stuff, it was hard to deal with. So by the time I went to my first nutrition appointment, I was in rough shape.